Greetings everyone, welcome to Advanced. This is from the Grand Chess 2 Finals. This is the first Blitz game. The white pieces we have Maxime Vachier-Lagrave facing off against Fabiano Caruana, and Fabi is down 4 points. Maxime is leading this, so he's going to have to win 2 games on demand to be able to equalize the score. So let's see what happens here. E4 by Maxime. Now just comes C5, knight to F3, knight to C6, and here just D4. We have C captures, knight captures going for E5. This is the Sicilian, this is the Lowenthal variation. We have knight to B5, D6, and just knight to C3, A6 now. Just going for the Kalashnikov, and here just knight to A3, and now immediately knight to F6. We have bishop to G5. This is the Sveshnikov, and we have B5. Bishop captures, pawn captures, and here just knight to D. And it seems like we've seen the repeat of the same game, but it's really a new game. Here just F5 comes now. Bishop to D3, bishop to E6. This is all theory, and the move that you want to play in this position is queen to H5. And I said I just told in the previous game that I showed right now here, and maybe you're gonna have to play F4 in this position, and after C4 you play B4, knight to C2, and your position is absolutely fine. But here after this we have castles, and now just comes bishop to G7, queen to H5 as played many times. Rook to B8, now just comes C3, F4 now, and just knight to C2. Here just A5 was played, B4 immediately just thrusting that pawn towards, and we have castles, A4, and what do? Do you take with the A pawn? Do you take with the B pawn? What happens in this position? Well, P caps on A4 was played. We have rook captures H6, now P caps on A5, and now the thing is that how do you capture this pawn? Well, just knight caps on A5, and you don't have to worry about it, but you have to now here knight c to b4 was played, and you cannot go back with the knight. So what do you do in this position? Here rook to c8 was played, now just trying to bring back the knight, but just rook to d1, and now just king to h8. Here even now Fabi is down to 1 minute on the clock, while Maxime has well over 2.5 minutes, and this is a blitz game, so that's a lot. And here just comes bishop to e2. We have knight to b3, just trying to remaneuver the knight to c5, and here in this position just rook to a7 was played. Getting that rook to a7, and queen is already slicing all the way through, and this is looking very scary for doing anything in this position by Fabi. And if he loses this, he's gonna have to win 3 games on demand, and that's gonna be very, very bad. So here just knight to c5 comes, and now just comes this bishop to f3, just defending that e4 pawn, nothing too much. And here just knight to d7 was played with like 30 seconds on the clock. He has to keep some time on the clock, and the thing is that there are a lot of moves that you can play, but the best move in this position is bishop to g4, and bishop to g4 comes with the threat that here after bishop captures, queen captures, you play knight to f6. But the thing is that my queen is a bit too active. Here just knight captures, queen captures, and even if you trade, my position is still so good. Even if you make a blunder or maybe not that accurate move, it's just knight to d5 attacking the queen, because now you get to ask for a trade, but queen to f3 still solves all your problems. You don't want to trade queens, you just move the queen back, and your position is absolutely fine, and you just wait for your turn, and then your position will turn towards where you want it to, and everything is defended here while your pieces are not that good. And that's why here this is a lot of advantage for white. But none of this happened here. After knight to d7, here h3 was played, but now just comes the problem, which is this rook to c4. And after rook to c4, that pawn is under attack. Knight to c5 is coming. Here rook to e1 was tried defending preemptively, but queen to g5, and if you trade queens, your position just becomes not that good. The move you should have played here is rook to c7. Maybe just try to just offer a trade, and after rook captures, knight captures. If you play queen captures, bishop captures, maybe you still have some chances after this and ruining the pawn structure, but it's very unlikely. But the thing is that what Maxime played here, he went for queen caps on g5, and after this h caps on g5, the queen was the only bad piece in the position, because your queen was so bad and white's queen was so active. Now that's been traded off. Now you have so many chances in the position that you can do so many things, and rook to a6 by Maxime, but now just comes rook f to c8. Now you're putting pressure against that, and here Fabi is down to just 10 seconds on the clock, and it's very, very bad. Here just rook caps on d6 was played, just grabbing that pawn, but now just comes bishop to f8, and now comes the trouble here. Rook to a6, and Maxime completely missed this idea, which is this rook captures on c3. You can just sacrifice the exchange, and here knight caps on c3 was played, but now just comes bishop caps on b4. That pawn is pinned. There is no way you can defend that anyhow, and you cannot even go here because this is a double attack. So what do you do in this position? Just rook to d1, just getting the king out of there. And the idea is that if you capture this, now rook captures here, and then I pick up the knight, but here just knight to c5 was played, and now comes rook caps on e6 nonetheless. F captures, and here in this position, what do you do in this position? How do you proceed? Here knight to b5 would have been a very fine way, because here after this rook to b8, you play knight to a7, just threatening this fork, and you just picking up the bishop. So here after rook to b7, attacking the knight, knight to c6, rook to b6, and here knight caps on b4, rook caps. Most likely this position should end in a draw, but here f caps on e6 was played, and I told you that, that move really threw Maxime off. And the thing is that now Maxime is even lower than Fabi on the clock. He's 4 seconds while Fabi is like 8 seconds. So not a lot, but still they're both playing blitz games. That's bound to happen. He just knight to e2 was played. Now just comes king to g7, rook to b1, and bishop to a5. Attacking the knight now, but here just king to f6, g3, bishop to b6, and now just going for king to g2, knight rook to d8 and rook to b1. If you see from the perspective of both the kings, it's the white king that looks more safe. But the thing what happened is absolutely going to shake you, because here after rook to d6, now just comes knight to c1, bishop to a7, and here just rook to a1, but just comes rook to d7 defending the bishop. Rook to a2, bishop to b6, and rook to b2 was played, but now just comes rook to d6, h4. We have h captures, g captures, and now just going for knight to d7. This knight to d7 retreat is a great idea by Fabi, because here after knight to e2, we have knight to f8, and knight is jumping on g6, attacking that pawn, and that's going to be very devastating. So here after knight to g1, we have bishop to d4, attacking the rook. Rook moves and knight to g6. How do you prevent that? It's very difficult. Either you move here, but if you move there, then there could be some ideas of pressuring this, maybe just moving the bishop back, getting here, and there could be some ideas of doing that. A knight cannot jump in and save that, or either you just move the rook here, but it's just very, very difficult to try and do anything in this position. So both plays are way down, many was down on the clock, and blitz, that's exactly what happens. This pressure builds up. So here h5 was played, but just comes knight to h4 check, king moves, and king was supposed to go to h3. And if you capture an f3, here after knight captures, I'm just better because I'm just attacking this, and I mean, I'm cutting your king off. This pass pawn is going to be an issue. King is just very active, and there is nothing you can do. Now doing this, and the thing is that here king cannot jump in, and I mean, you have no more squares, and what do you do in this position? But none of this happened. Here after knight to h4 check, king to f1 was played, and this is troublesome because here now comes a rook to a6, and that rook is jumping in, and there is nothing you can do about it. And this knight is controlling this. This is also threatened. I mean, this is a bad position now. Here h6 was tried, but now just comes rook to a1 check, king moves, and here just rook captures. So you've given a piece for absolutely free. And here after h7, now just going for knight to g6 because you're stopping that promotion. There is nothing you can do. Rook to b8 was tried, but after king to g7, rook to b7 check, king to h8, bishop to h5, but now just comes rook to g5, and there is nothing you can do. Bishop captures, rook captures, king to f3 was played, but now just comes rook to g7, and it was in this move on just move 58 that Maxime Vachier-Lagrave resigned the game, and Fabi got this amazing victory in the blitz in the first game itself with the black pieces. Now he's going to be facing Maxime with the white pieces, so let's see he's able to do something there. But the thing is that he has reduced the difference between the points by 2, and now he's going to have to win just one game to be able to equalize. So let's see if he's able to do that or not. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with games like these, so stay tuned to the channel, stay updated, and I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon. Thank you very, very much for watching.